Hello, it's Robin and Kim here. We are going to talk to you today, and it's not Wellness Wednesday. Sorry, we're a couple days late, but better late than never. But today we're talking about an important subject, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have been hearing a lot of chatter about protein. And we want to talk about the power of protein, not just for every age, almost every age. After 30 and up, we want to talk about it. So what I'm going to tell you first before we take it away with some detail is to tell you why protein is so important for your healthy diet. Proteins are made up of chemical building blocks called amino acids. And your body uses amino acids to build and repair your muscles and bones and to make hormones and enzymes. And it can also be used as an energy source. So that's just a very small little portion of what protein is used for. Healthy sources of protein are lean meats, poultry, chicken, things like that, fish and seafood. Fish is really good, especially omega-3 fish, right?
Mhm.
Products like cottage cheese, good grades of cottage cheese, some Greek yogurts, nuts, seeds, legumes, and beans. And then that's it. Pretty
Yeah.
much that's it. You're going to hear about grains, but Kim and I aren't crazy about grains. So if you read things, you're going to say some things are going to be a grain and cereal based, but we don't really
But
care
there's
for
no
those.
protein in the grains.
Right. Too much for that.
Most, yeah.
Some grain and protein products. So maybe like quinoa. We're thinking quinoa is going to be
And
a
lentils.
decent, yeah, and lentils. So, then also so just think about this as we're talking about it. After 30, you start losing muscle at 3 to 8% per decade. All right, 3 to 8. And after 50, you start losing it 10 to 15%. Each decade, you get worse and worse at losing the muscle. So this is why protein's so important, especially as we age and even after age 30, because our body needs it to build strength. So Kim, take it away. What do you
Yeah.
got to say about
Oh,
protein?
I have a lot to say about protein. And the power of protein in my own life. I'm going to share that too. We're What's really cool is Raman and I are currently doing a book club in our private health group called Forever Strong. It's a new science-based strategy for aging well. And guess what she talks about? A lot about muscle strengthening and protein, because protein feeds your muscles, helps your muscles grow, and it does so much more than that too. And I want to share a couple things that we've learned and that have been really highlighted for us from this book. It's a great book. I recommend it to everyone. We'll put a link below. But the benefits of a protein forward diet are balanced blood sugar, which is huge today in our country with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. It gives you increased energy, helps with mental clarity, decreased body fat, plus, and also improved body composition, and also reduced cravings because you get satisfied by eating protein. You can't really overeat protein, which I think is really kind of a neat concept, unlike sugar. But and why you shouldn't ignore protein. And she has another cool little set of reasons why here. And essential for cellular function. It influences our metabolism. That's huge. It also is needed to build physical structures in our body, impacts our sleep and mood, huge, because you always feel good after eating turkey. It's that tryptophan.
Right, right.
Sleepy, can make you sleepy. And needed for brain, bones, ligaments, tendons, liver, skin, and fingernails. So
It does everything.
collagen, you think about that. And so reading this book is very eye-opening, because she also talks about like the 50 plus person does not get, actually need more protein as we get older, and we don't meet our protein needs. And the RDA, RDA stands for oh my gosh, I'm thinking
Recommended.
FDA. Yeah.
Recommended daily allowance.
Recommended daily allowance. Sorry, I was thinking regulation.
That's
I
all
was
right.
thinking FDA, not RDA, but it's the recommended daily allowance is way too low. It's like 50 or 60 grams of protein for women, maybe a little higher for men. And ideally, we should be eating at least 100 grams of protein a day for women. And I shoot for my ideal body weight in grams of protein. So I've been putting this to the test. And I actually started being very protein forward last November when we were in South America for 3 weeks, and I couldn't really control what I was going to get to eat all the time, but it was a lot of protein. And so I started with protein, usually protein at my meals if I could, or a salad if that was available first. But and I found after 3 weeks and eating our way through South America that I didn't gain any weight. I was like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, then we just went on a 6-week vacation. And again, I didn't have access to all the foods I wanted, but for the most part I did. And I did the same thing. I really focused on my breakfast, my first meal of the day, to get the highest protein possible. So at least get 30 grams or higher. And that was either a shake, a loaded shake, and or I would do 3 scrambled eggs with a half cup of cottage cheese, which gave me a lot of protein there. Or I would do a chia seed pudding, which gave me almost like 40 some grams of protein. So I did those like kind of rotated those in and out. Also had protein at lunch. That could have been, I know you don't like this, Robin, sardines, or again, yogurt or cottage cheese. And I couldn't get like the exact cottage cheese I wanted down there because I love good culture cottage cheese. It's no antibiotics. It's organic, and it's a high quality cottage cheese. And but I made it work down there. I made the best choices I could. And always we had a protein at dinner, and I ate like crazy. And I thought, oh my gosh, am I gonna blow up? And I got home and I actually, because we had some other things as well. My husband made some desserts while we were down there. So I only gained 1 pound. And typically when we've gone on this trip, I come home 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
So I was like so amazed that, I didn't like go over my weight didn't skyrocket. And the other thing I did incorporate was walking. I incorporated more walking, which I think that helped as well. But I really think the protein was a key element that really helps maintain. What are you gonna say, Robin?
So I'd like to just kind of come in here because I've had other people say, oh, I've heard all about this protein, but then, I'm afraid to eat too much protein that it's going to mess up my liver, or is it liver? Yeah. Or
Well,
your levels. But here's the thing. You have to move. You have to do strength training, right? Everything works together. The protein helps to build the muscles of what you're putting in your mouth helps to build your muscles and keep you young and strong and healthy. But so does strength training, so does walking. You have to incorporate all of that, and not just, oh yeah, I strength train once a month.
Yeah.
No, it has to be a consistent, it has to be a consistent habit, the walking, the movement, the strength training to keep everything healthy and strong. So don't just sit and eat, a steak every night, because that's not what we're talking about.
Well, and I mix it up. I mean, we had, fish, we had salmon, we had tuna, we had lamb, we had duck, we had filet, I'm making myself hungry. And I love all that, and it was quality meat. And then I mixed it up with plant proteins and animal proteins. There's and believe it or not, you can get, if you eat plant proteins, you got to be careful because you got to eat more calories in order to get 30 grams of protein or whatever. It's so much easier to get in chicken or, a meat product. Honey, we're live.
And that's something else that I noticed recently, or just learned recently too. I'm glad you mentioned that you ate different things. If you continue, if you eat the same thing all the time, your body gets used to it. So if you're going to say, I only like chicken, and if you eat chicken every single night for your protein, your body's going to get used to it, and it's not going to metabolize it as efficiently as if you move and you eat the foods, different foods, a variety of foods. So keep that in mind too, guys, because I didn't really know all that, but just
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
that. So
And so red meat's gotten a little bit of a bad rap, but I wanted to talk about how the 8 nutrients only found in meat, which was, I thought was interesting. And the ones, you probably don't know all 8 of them, but the top ones are B12. That's where you get the quality B12 that we need. Also D3, vitamin D3, and also creatine. And so that's important.
Yep.
And then the other thing was what reasons why high protein diets work, or higher, not high, but higher protein diets work. It stimulates our muscles and it stimulates our muscle protein synthesis to protect our skeletal muscle. And it also increases thermogenesis and also enhances satiety, which I talked about before.
You can see your.
yep.
So, sorry.
All right. We don't want to bore you with all the, if you want to, this is really scientific, but it's also in layman's terms as well. So if you want to know more about it, we're really hyped about it. We like the book. We've learned a lot more. So I would recommend, checking it out from your library or wherever. And before we sign off today, I want to make sure that I bring this to light too. Today is Share a Smile Day. So if you use the 10-5 rule, guys, if you are within 10 feet of someone, give them a smile and make eye contact. If you are within 5 foot of someone, say hello, greet them. All right. So I'll leave you with that today. Smile. It's good to smile. And have a great rest of your week. And we'll catch you next Wednesday.
Yep. And I wanted to say, have fun and live young. And we'll see you next week.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, whatever.